Good afternoon, guys. I've got the racers out right now. Just got done doing those lights last night. So another little loft project. So here's a question for everybody. Do bird scare devices work? These come from eBay. I opted to not use CDs. In my experience, they haven't worked, and I think the reason is they're static. And I got these little plastic doohickeys from eBay. They're about $10 a dozen. And they actually have multiple surfaces on them. And I pretty much just decided to hang them from my lights here. And the sun's going down, so they're really not reflecting hard. But when the sun was out, they were actually reflecting pretty good. And the way they kind of work, they kind of spin back and forth like that. So they kind of, I guess, wink sunlight. And they're low cost enough that it's certainly worth a try to make an effort to see if these devices will do anything about the bird of prey problems. As you can hear in the background, it's certainly not scaring the sparrows. I have a whole bunch of those. I always have a little bit of spilled feed out of the bottom of the individual coops because they have wire bottoms, and needless to say, the sparrows are always here after it. And obviously it does not scare the racing homers any. So I guess the question is, will it scare the birds of prey? And this is kind of, this method with the shiny object is a really common recommendation of a lot of people to folks who have hawk problems, which we all have hawk problems at Dazoin, let's face it. If you don't have a hawk problem, you're either lucky enough to be out of the migration build, or you probably really don't fly your pigeons much. Some folks think that because if they don't lose too many pigeons, that it has something to do with the pigeons having some sort of evasive capability. And I can tell you that's not true. I have seen peregrine falcons chase down Donics, chase down Vudas, Calabecs, Gallitzers, racing homers, Birmingham rovers, tipplers, you name it. Doesn't matter the breed. You know, we are kind of behind the 8 ball here from an evolutionary standpoint. Peregrine falcon has been on the North American continent for about 5 million years. It has a distinct evolutionary advantage to a pigeon, and its natural prey are columbiforms. They are bird killers, and the thing they are especially equipped to kill are pigeons. And needless to say, in the evolutionary scope of things, pigeons behind. We've only been, pigeons have been domesticated for about 5,000 years. We have many zeros behind peregrine falcon and Cooper's hawk and a lot of those other species of birds of prey that are bird hunters. So needless to say, if you don't lose many pigeons, it's not because your pigeons have somehow managed to get away all the time. They really don't. It's even the Venetian blacks, which were developed by a guy who was a falconer, Robert Lockwood. Robert Lockwood was a falconer, and he developed the Venetian black, which some of you know Venetian black lofts down in Florida. He flies those, and in spite of that breed having really good bird of prey evasion capabilities, people still have lost Venetian blacks because it's just, in the evolutionary scale, they're just not a match. You know, when Robert Lockwood developed the Venetian and the Vishana, he even went as far as studying falcon wing structure and had wing charts and all kinds of things. He was basically developing a falcon wing on his 2 breeds. So he was trying to counter evolution of birds of prey and follow the same model and compete with them. And even though the Venetian is a really good fast flyer and can sometimes fly circles around some of the slower hawks, people still lose them. you know. So if you don't lose pigeons to hawks, it's probably because you don't fly them enough, or they stick low to the ground, and you've just been lucky. Worse your bird of prey problem is, the more you're going to lose. The more you breed, the more you're going to lose. There's a lot of folks here locally with some pretty good racing homers. Some of these guys here locally do pretty well in one-loft races, but hawks are a problem locally. They lose them right and left. We have a falconer in our club, actually, and he admits it's part of the game. You're going to lose pigeons. But needless to say, the question is, will the bird scaring devices, the shiny object, maybe keep the low-flying birds of prey like the Cooper's hawk and the sharpshins away, and the goshawks? We're going to find out. So I ordered 3 bags of these, so I'm going to have about 36 of these to hang up. This is the first 12, or I think I've got all 12 hanging here. And I just hang them off the, for ease, I've hung them off the light wire here. This area gets quite a bit of sun during the day, and it'll stay, and there's nothing in the way. There's always a wind blows through here, so they're going to spin quite a bit and get some reflections, and hopefully with as many as I get, hopefully it will work, and they will send enough of these little shiny beams of light in the air and maybe scare some of the Cooper's hawks away here during the migration season. So we're going to see. So like I said, everybody out there, they're looking for ways of saving pigeons from birds of prey. So we're going to try this one. We're going to try some other things. Some things like this I have tried before. These particular spinny things I have not tried before, but I've tried CDs and tape and stuff like that, reflective tape. But I figured I'd try them. They're cheap, you know, 30 bucks for almost 40 of them. If they save a couple pigeons, it's money well worth saving. Actually, if they save one, it's money well worth saving when it comes down to it. So that is it, guys. Just kind of a little experiment here. We'll see what happens. I'm actually going to take this line here out and run it to the breeding lofts here in the next day or so. I've got kind of a full schedule the next few days, but as we wind the mining season up, but trying to get some things done here for as we go into late fall, early winter. So I will see you guys later. Keep them flying out there if you can.